Oh no, it's the conspiracy guy once more. Now he's going to tell us how should we live our lives, what's wrong with the world, and so on. But guys, be honest. It's because I'm way more sexier than you. You're simply jealous, nothing more. Hi guys, once more. Today, we're going to see what are the tips and tricks that the Matrix are pulling against you and they're keeping you basically in this 9 to 5 shithole every day. And after all that I examined, basically there are 5 things that the Matrix is using and keeping you pinned down in your poor chair and not giving you the opportunity to flourish and to become something more, to escape the ordinary and be something more in your life. And I'm going to teach you. No, I'm going to teach myself, but I'm going to share with you what I found out. And it's very simple. I call it S.O.B.D. So, once more, S.O.B.D. It's S.O.B.D. And you should remember this. These are the 4, basically 5 things, because there are 2 things that are hiding behind this letter S that the Matrix is using all day long to be financially dependent, to be dependent on money, to do what other people are telling you to do, and not be free. So let's get right into it and let's see what these 4 letters are all about. So the first letter, basically it's a 2-part letter. So the first S is sick, but I have enhanced it a little bit with additional thing. It's also stupid. It's stupid. Next thing, O, obedient. Next thing, letter B, is broke. And then at the end, letter D is distracted. So these are the things and tricks that the Matrix is pulling every day on vast majority of the population to keep you in the shithole, to keep you distracted, to keep minding your own business. You're thinking you're minding your own business, but at the end you're doing exactly what they want, while they are minding their own business and living the full potential of their life and having all the financial independence and doing whatever they want with their time that they have on this earth. I'm not going to be too long today, but I'm just going to make a point here and just for you to maybe sit down and reflect and think about, is this true or not? You don't have to listen to me, but you can always question and reevaluate your life and what's going around you. So the Matrix and the people who don't want you to be free, actually they want you to be sick. But I'm not telling about those people who are really sick, maybe have some genetic disease or something like that. I'm more talking about the people who are in the system. They are going on some kind of checkups, then they go into the doctors very often, and then the doctors find something. They always find something because for most of the people, not for all of the people, but for most of the people who are not very sick, hospital, doctors, and all of these things, pharmaceutical industry, it's an industry, it's a business, When you go on some kind of scan, they find out that you have something, you always have something, you will end up with something. Till today you didn't have anything, now you have something, you always have. Then you have something, Then your doctor will prescribe you another scan. Then maybe they will find out that you have something, so times 2, times 3. Then they will give you some pill. Then this pill will fuck up something else. So it will fuck up your, I don't know, blood pressure or sugar levels, something like that. Then you will have to take another pill that, let's say, somehow reduces the effect of this pill. Then they will give you another pill, and so on, and so on, and so on, until you fuck up your life, your body, and so on. Because at the end of the day, once more, for the majority of you, you don't need all of those pills. So you don't need pills to sleep, pills to run, pills to, I don't know, lose weight, and so on. You don't need those pills. Your body is a perfect machine. It regulates itself, it has its immune system, it fights various kinds of diseases. When it gets to, let's say, cancer occurs millions of times in your body every day because you're changing cells, and if your immune system is working as it should, then it takes care of you, of your body, and it keeps you healthy. But how you can keep up with all those diseases and how you can be healthy? At the end of the day, you need to be physically fit. So that is the solution, not those pills. Those pills are costing you money. Those scans and those different kinds of MRIs or something like that, those cost money. And the system is designed in a way that you cannot get a time slot tomorrow or when you need it in a week. Then you have to wait for 6 months. Then you don't want to wait, or you don't have, or you have to make a scan really quickly. What do you do then? Then you go and go to some kind of private clinic, then you get a scan. It costs you 3 times more or whatever. If you don't have if your social insurance doesn't cover it, or your health insurance and so on. You understand what I'm talking about. It's an industry that keeps you broke, it keeps you in the system where you're spending your money on stupid shit that you really don't need because you don't know. You think it has to be like that. What is the definition? What is the answer? The real answer to this behavior? The real answer is you should train, you should sleep. Okay, what else? You should say no to, of course, drugs, alcohol, and nicotine or tobacco or smoking in general. And then you have to eat properly and don't eat stupid shit. Eat real food. So you have to train every day, every second day, building your muscles, so weight training. Then some cardio so that you don't lose your breath when you go up the stairs. Sleep at least 7-8 hours a day, but sleep. And not using pills to have sleep. And eat properly. So eat real proteins, eggs, meats, fish, so on, and not just snacks. And staying away from drugs, alcohol, smoking, this is something that will help your immune system and your body to be in perfect condition and to fight all of these diseases here. This is an industry. Then, stupid, while we are here, so the matrix doesn't want you to educate yourself. Everything around you is set up in a way so you keep being stupid. All of the news, all of the content that's been served to you through various kinds of channels like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, this mainstream media, so on. It's all made in a way to keep you stupid. It feeds you with stupid content that doesn't affect you. You don't have anything from it. Your life doesn't change from today till tomorrow in any means, by any means using those information, consuming those information. So it's a crap tons and tons of crap material that you are losing your time on. And maybe even you're paying for some of that, like some kind of subscriptions on Netflix or something like that. Like I have a fixation on Netflix, but that's not the case. I just want to make a point. So they want to keep you stupid. Why? Because stupid people don't ask clever questions. And the matrix, that they don't want you to ask those kind of questions. Nobody likes to have a smart person who wants to know the real answers to the real questions. Who is financing the wars, who is printing money, how you can get in a way of this money flow and so on. So no one wants you to ask those kind of questions. You want to ask questions, where is Kim Kardashian now? What happened to Tate McRae or something like that? Did she show her butt or she didn't show her butt? To understand. So they're feeding us, me, with those kinds of information. What you can do, you can educate yourself. You are in power and you can define what kind of content you want to consume or you don't want to consume. So instead of just swiping endlessly through TikToks and so on, you can find a real documentaries, podcasts that have real smart people talking about real smart shit that will help you, that will give you the possibility to do something with your life, to learn actually something and to apply it tomorrow at your work, to start a business, to get more money, and to finally be free. But you are in control. But this stupid shit, it gives you fun, it's fun. This educational things, they're boring. Who wants to learn that? Of course. If you want to have 99% of the time you want to have fun, then you're a drug addict because you're dopamine, so it's dopamine addiction. And that's why 99% of the people are broke. Because they don't want to learn anything new, they don't want to consume the 1% content that the smart people are consuming. Then, obedient, everything from the day you are born. Parents, school, church, religion, and so on and so on. Everything, boss, everything is set up in a way so that you are basically obedient. You are following the rules of somebody else. So you're not questioning the rules, and you can never, ever, ever, ever question, why do I have to follow your rules? Why do I have to do this and do that? So you cannot ask your parents because you will get an answer because we say so. You cannot ask your teacher because maybe in older days you will get with a stick in a church. No. Why? So you're not a good Christian or something like that. You will be excommunicated. I don't know what. So you cannot ask stupid questions. Not stupid. You cannot ask questions and question the authority because we say so. And also your boss and so on. So just sit down and think about it. How many times in your life have you been in these situations when you simply had to do something because someone else told you to do? And that's where basically you are spending your time deep down in the shit trenches and you're not asking the real questions because you're afraid, because you will get, I don't know, some kind of punishment, and you're not asking the real questions. The people who are outside of the matrix, they already know the answers to those questions that you want to ask. But no one wants to tell them. You have to dig them up. You have to find people who will give you those information. And so how can you tackle disobedience? So you have to question everything, question the things that I'm telling you. You should always question everything. It has to be based on facts. You have to surround yourself with people who are above you in sense of how much money they have, did they actually reach the financial freedom level and so on. If they have, why don't you use them and ask them those questions so that they will, in most of the cases, help you with the right answer so that you can simply maybe copy the things that they did and also become financially free. So you have this choice. Next thing is broke. This is straightforward. So in order to be financially independent, you must have enough assets. So so this is already the solution. You need to have a lot of assets that provide you with additional income, passive income, that multiply your capital and so on, so that you don't have to work 9 to 5 anymore and listen to stupid shit from your bosses, from other people who are maybe also broke, or they have escaped this 9 to 5 shithole, but at the end they don't want you to escape because they want to use you like a battery. So you have to be obedient slave and broke slave, because then you are useful. They can utilize you. You are useful to them. They are using you as a battery. So if you're watching the Matrix movie, so the peoples are like batteries. You have some such, let's say, life energy stored inside you, and when they drain you up, drain all the energy from your body, you are discarded. You no longer need it. You are just a disposable thing for those people who are using you to work for them. And people are giving you different kinds of AliExpress, Temu, I don't know, online shopping malls, subscriptions, everything that you spend your money on that you practically do not need. You don't need Netflix, you don't need 5 pairs of shoes, you don't need every day an ice cream and so on. So everything is made in such a way that you lose money, that you give by your own will, so no one's forcing you, you're giving them your money, your hard-earned money, instead of investing in assets, opening a new, getting a new job, second job, starting a company, and so on. So that in the end, you become financially free and you're not broke anymore. So the Matrix is using this system of false belief and bad values, let's say. They are taught and in somehow put by force in your head. That makes you obedient, gives you a lot of opportunities to spend your money on stupid shit that keeps you broke so you cannot escape, and gives you stupid content that you consume every day, every night, in order to stay stupid and stay broke, so that you buy, at the end of the day, something that you've seen on your mobile phone or in an ad and so on. So how many times have you seen an ad that promotes some kind of magic pill? You will be healthier, you will have this, you'll lose this disease, or you will fight this disease, you will be able to sleep better and so on. So there are thousands and thousands of ads about this pharmaceuticals, some kind of pill. You understand? It's an industry. And then at the end, distracted. Of course. So everything, TikToks, every stupid content, everything that you consume as an information today, I would say 99% of the information that you consume today are bullshit information. And you get distracted. You get distracted by news, especially if you're watching the mainstream media. News every day, the war in Ukraine, this and that, the war in Israel, and so on. They are keeping you distracted. And while you're arguing with other people about it, the Matrix wants you to do that. They want you to speak and to take sides. So are you on one side, on the other? So on whose side are you? And you're now arguing in your community with someone else. So that's what Matrix basically wants. For you to lose time on something that's completely irrelevant to you. You cannot change anything. You cannot fight for anything. You cannot change the course of war in any means. Why do you spend a second of your time arguing with other people whether or not there should be a war, who is right, who is wrong? What's in it for you? Simply losing time. You don't do this. You don't learn anything. You don't train. You don't sleep well. You're only under stress. And then what happens? You're distracted all the time. Distractions means that you are willingly spending your biggest assets, your time. So you're spending your time for stupid shit that doesn't mean anything. What you have to do, you have to stop. You have to stop and you have to realize, are you losing time with stupid people on stupid arguments? Yes. Why are you arguing with those people? Move away. Who is the problem? You or the people who are arguing with? You should be smarter and you should get out of these arguments or different kinds of I don't know, discussions with people around topics that doesn't have any impact on your life in any way. And that it doesn't make you richer, it doesn't make you more poor, but what gives you what doesn't give you, maybe it gives you a small satisfaction because you're right or something like that. It doesn't, no one cares at the end of the day, but they are stripping you down of your time. And if they are taking your time, you're not learning anything, you're not starting a business, you're not training, you're not sleeping, not eating well. And if you're not training, sleeping, and eating well, then you need help from these pharmaceuticals. So you're spending money on this shit, then you don't feel well. So in order to feel better, then you treat yourself with additional stupid content, with some stuff from local malls, or you go shopping and so on, and they keep you in this circle. That's why you're deep down in this shithole. So you have to stop doing that. You have to think where your time is going. So you have to manage your time. You have to budget yourself and your money, see where the money is going, define what kind of content will you consume, what you want to learn, and then find the actual people that are professionals. They know what I'm saying in this field, so that you become also, I don't know, proficient in this field if you want. That's why it's very important for you first to understand that you are distracted, to have this epiphany, and then start working on some kind of a milestones. What will you do with your time in order to get better and not to spend it on stupid shit? So it's very simple. The first one about the sick is to fuck up your body. The second one is to fuck up your moral. This is to fuck up your finance so that you're broke. And this is to keep you distracted so that you don't ever escape and try to tackle all of these problems before. So guys, I have now shared with you what are the tricks of the Matrix. They want you sick and stupid, obedient, broke, and distracted. Do you agree? Are you sick, broke, distracted? Write me down in a comment. And I'll see you later. Bye.